6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The government says plantation workers' wage increase will be definitely implemented. The contracts with the government-owned state estate companies that do not agree to increase wages will be cancelled. 7 persons reported dead and 13 others injured due to the inclement weather. The Department of Meteorology issues a warning to several sea areas today as well. Landslide warnings have been issued to several districts. A National Dengue Prevention Week will be effective from today. In news overseas, India Games Arcade Fire kills 20. And in sports news, South Asian Youth Table Tennis Championship commences in Kandy from today. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the local news. Plantation Enterprise Reform Minister and Finance State Minister Dr. Ranjit Sinhala says that the increase in wages for the plantation workers will be definitely implemented. The minister also states that the contracts with government-owned estate companies that do not agree to increase the wages will be cancelled. Minister Sinhala added that the contracts of these cancelled estate companies will be reassigned to other companies that agree to the terms in a transparent manner. According to the new Gazette, the basic salary of plantation workers will be increased to 1,350 rupees with immediate effect. The total increase, including the 350 rupees of special allowance, will bring the salary to 1,700 rupees. The Disaster Management Center says 7 persons reported dead and 13 others were injured due to falling trees, floods, high winds, rain and rockfalls in 19 districts. While issuing a report, they said a total of 42,604 individuals belonging to 11,307 families have been affected, and some people have been sent to 7 safe locations. Accordingly, 533 individuals belonging to 140 families have been sent to safe locations. Meanwhile, 464 persons belonging to 122 families are living in their relatives' houses. A total of 3,137 houses were partially damaged and 11 houses were completely damaged due to the inclement weather. The warning issued by the Met Department to several sea areas will be effective until 12 noon today. Accordingly, the sea areas from Mannar to Colombo, Galle and across Hambantota to Pothuvel will be rough. The wind speed can be 70 km per hour in these areas. Fishing communities have been requested to refrain from engaging in fishing activities until further notice. Meanwhile, further landslide warnings have been issued to several districts in the island. The warnings have been issued to Colombo, Kalutara, Kagala, Nuwara Eliya, Ratnapura, Gampaha and Kandy districts. The night mail trains from Badulla and other special trains on the upcountry line had been cancelled yesterday due to trees and rocks falling onto the tracks, Sri Lanka Railway has announced. Over 15 incidents of trees falling onto the rail tracks have been reported so far. Several trains operations have been cancelled. Power interruptions have caused significant issues with the railway signal system, particularly beyond the Nanuoya station. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. The Ministry of Health has declared a National Dengue Prevention Week from today. During this week, the National Dengue Control Unit will initiate a special mosquito control program across 71 MOH divisions spanning in 17 districts. The program aims to control the rising number of dengue cases expected during the upcoming monsoon seasons. So far this year, Sri Lanka has reported 22,943 cases of dengue, resulting in 9 deaths. Dengue has a seasonal transmission in Sri Lanka, with 2 peaks occurring with the monsoon rains in June, July and October, December respectively. General public is kindly requested to keep their household premises clean and free of mosquito breeding places. The All Ceylon Shashana Rakshane Balamandalaya, the Cultural Affairs Ministry and the Vietnamese Sangha Sabha have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote pilgrimage tourism between Sri Lanka and Vietnam under the Foreign Affairs Ministry's Temple to Temple Diplomacy Program. 39 Vietnamese bhikkhus and bhikkhunis made a 5-day pilgrimage to Sri Lanka under the program. Members of the Vietnamese Buddhist clergy and laity who accompanied them met at the Foreign Affairs Ministry recently to share their experiences in Sri Lanka at a press conference. They expressed their pleasure over the tour, particularly their visits to Ruanvelli Saya and Jayashree Mahabodhiya in Anuradhapura, where they witnessed the rich cultural and Buddhist heritage of Sri Lanka. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The government says plantation workers' wage increase will be definitely implemented. The contracts with government-owned estate companies that do not agree to the increase of wages will be cancelled. 7 persons reported dead and 13 others injured due to the inclement weather. The Department of Meteorology issues a warning to several sea areas today as well. Landslide warnings have been issued to several districts. A National Dengue Prevention Week will be effective from today. And that was the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The main news story for this morning, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has inaugurated the Centre of Excellence for Women's Healthcare at the District General Hospital in Kilinochchi yesterday. This project, costing 5,320 million rupees, is in line with the government's initiative to enhance health sector facilities nationwide, the President's Media Division said. It has been funded by the government of the Netherlands. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And in Washington this morning, the Road Development Authority has informed motorists using the expressway to maintain at least a 50-meter distance between vehicles while driving owing to the adverse weather conditions prevailing across the country. The RDA says it has taken steps to display the warnings on electronic display boards and urges the motorists to strictly follow them. Meanwhile, authorities also notify motorists not to exceed the speed limits displayed on the electric display boards on each of these expressways. And that came to you in Watch Light.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines of the world news. India Games arcade fire kills 20. Russia hits Kharkiv supermarket. Race to rescue villagers trapped after deadly landslide. Those are the headlines, and now there's more to the details of the world news. At least 20 people have been died in a massive fire at a games arcade in India, local officials say. Flames and a huge ball of smoke was seen rise into the sky at the building in Rajkot in the western state of Gujarat. The fire is now under control and a search has been launched. There are fears that more victims may be trapped under the wreckage, including children. The cause of the fire has yet to be determined. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel said a special investigation team has been assigned. At least 2 people have been killed and 35 others wounded after Russian forces hit a supermarket in the northern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv with 2 glide bombs, local officials say. A large fire was seen raging at the epicenter K Home Improvement store on the northern outskirts of the city. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said over 200 people could have been inside the supermarket when it was attacked. Kharkiv Mayor Ihor Terekhov wrote on Telegram, a large number of people are missing and this is pure terrorism. Emergency services are racing to rescue victims of a massive landslide in Papua New Guinea's isolated Enga province, where hundreds of people are feared to have been died. Relief efforts have been hampered by difficult terrain and damage to main roads. Parts of the affected area are only accessible via helicopter, but a group of rescuers succeeded in reaching the region, humanitarian agency Care Australia said. The landslide buried hundreds of homes in the highlands of Enga in the northern island nation of the southwestern Pacific at around 300 hours local time on Friday. And that was the world news.
Development News.
In development news this morning, the first road project under the 1,500-kilometer road renovation project was vested with the public under the patronage of Transport Highways Minister Bandula Gunawardena. The 1,500-kilometer road renovation project was started in the year 2024. Under the project, the Venevakola Road, School Road, Polgasovita was carpeted and handed over to the public yesterday. And that was the development news.
Moving on with sports news.
The Maldives junior table tennis team arrived in the island to participate in the South Asian Youth Table Tennis Championship commencing from today. This will continue until the 29th of May at the Municipal Indoor Stadium in Kandy. Chairman of the organizing committee of the tournament, Chandana Pereira, said that the Maldives team is the first from South Asia to arrive here. Teams from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan and Nepal are scheduled to arrive today. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, Sri Lanka Tourism performed a successful stint at the Arabian Travel Market 2024 in Dubai, UAE. Sri Lanka Tourism made headlines at the 31st edition of the Arabian Travel Market, which was held from the 6th to the 9th of May in 2024 in Dubai, UAE. The travel fair was held at the Dubai World Trade Center in line with the theme Empowering Innovation, Transforming Travel Through Entrepreneurship. This is the largest tourism event in the Middle East and provides global exposure, business and travel opportunities for the tourism sector. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, trade centers for many agricultural products in the Hambantota district will be expanded. Plans have been made to commence such trade centers in 12 division secretariats in the district. Contribution of the state and the private sector has been received in this regard. That was the economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Weather report.
And finally, the weather report. Due to the southwest monsoon condition, the prevailing showery and windy conditions are expected to continue. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern and southern provinces. Heavy showers over 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Nuwara Eliya district. Fairly heavy showers about 75 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Galle and Matara districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the northern and the north central provinces. Strong winds of about 60 km per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the central hills and in the northern, north central, western, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. Fairly strong winds about 40 km per hour can be expected at times elsewhere in the island. And before we conclude this bulletin, let's get back to the headlines once again. The government says plantation workers' wage increase will be definitely implemented. The contracts with government-owned estate companies that do not agree to increase the wages will be cancelled. 7 persons reported dead and 13 others injured due to the inclement weather. The Department of Meteorology issues a warning to several sea areas today as well. Landslide warnings have been issued to several districts. A National Dengue Prevention Week will be effective from today. In news overseas, India gains Arcade Fire kills 20. And in sports news, South Asia Youth Table Tennis Championship commences in Kandy from today. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. Now it's back to your regular Sunday morning host and my good friend Abhishek on the other side of the glass panel.